Good morning. Let's go. 3 lessons I learned this week. Episode 5. The first, as some of you may know, well, judging by the quality of this video, my old phone broke. The screen is going wonky. It still works, but it's not working correctly. So I bought a new phone, just burner phone, $100, super basic. And there was a lesson I learned in this, in that before I left the US, I thought about what would happen if my phone gets lost, damaged, stolen, etc. Like what does that scenario look like? And I planned for it, essentially. Basically, all of the stuff that I use is backed up to the cloud, and I brought my phone is used as a two-factor authentication for like everything, except I brought and set up a YubiKey, a physical little USB stick that works with my some of the more crucial two-factor authentication things, and that saved my ass. So fortunately I could still use my phone, and so I could do all the transfers directly, but like the fact that everything was backed up, the fact that I had a physical YubiKey, it just saved so many problems that could have come up. And so the lesson I learned in that is that out of all the things that I document, I think worst case scenario planning is worth it. It's worth it to think, what happens when this happens? Like what does that scenario look like when I drop my laptop or whatever? Is everything backed up? Is what happens when I lose my phone? That kind of stuff. So anyway, that is what I learned. And then number 2 is, how do I start this? So it's related to, I think, business and opportunities and starting a business. How can I make this quick? Quick context. I am working on a business venture to help travel bloggers right now. I had an original problem and solution, and I reached out to people and did some market research, realized that wasn't super valuable, and so I've kind of backtracked to doing more broad market research and just like reaching out to people, asking what their problems are, etc. And then I decided to go back in and created a analytics tool that gives analytics for embedded maps on blog posts. And so I've packaged that up, and I've created a free offer where I'm offering for free an engagement report for a blogger's maps. Okay, context aside, I've hit this week or last week, I hit what I felt like is the constraint in this process, which is finding bloggers to reach out to. I've reached out to 99, I think. We're so close to 100. And I don't think I'm doing enough volume. And so I think what I need to be doing is, given that, open rates or response rates are like 1 to 3% or whatever, I need to be sending 99 to 100 a day, or I at least like to give that a try. And so, constraint being finding leads. I started working on this tool with my brother to automate this using ChatGPT, OpenAI's API, the thing behind ChatGPT, and integrated both Bing and Google Search API. And so essentially now, because you can't just use, it doesn't matter. And I did the first step of this, which was I ran my script, and I got a list of 1,200 websites. They're not all travel blogs, but I think most of them are. And so, it took 2 minutes to run. So I was sitting in, here's the important part. I was sitting in a cafe, and I was reading on my Kindle, and this idea came to me that I was like, we have this basically like 6-step process that generates leads and figures out if they're qualified automatically. And I'm just working on taking that from like ChatGPT process into code. And I was like, isn't this like incredibly valuable to generate qualified leads at scale, to be able to get emails for like 1,200 people to reach out to? Like, isn't that insanely valuable? And it got my creative juices flowing, in the sense that, I started to think of, maybe we should actually work a little bit more on this tool and make sure it's just a script, but get it working, get it right. And the lesson I learned in this is that I think when you're starting out, it's more important that you just start on something. And so if you've been following along, I'm not super confident in this travel blogger niche. It started with an original solution. And then I worked into, maybe not this solution, but I'll stick with the niche. And then I did research into, what are the problems in the niche. But I started with something. But I think in the early stages, I think it's more important that you just start on something and then you be open to what happens. And so I'm not going to say that this, lead generation tool is going to be the thing, and it's, we're pivoting to this, and like going all in on it. But I think it's just at least an example of what could happen, where it's like, I don't love this path, but I'm starting down this. And then here's like, I'm solving a new problem that I actually have as a business, trying to find leads and automating that. And I've created a solution and tool to do that. That is a valuable problem that you just solved. And so I think it's that being open to what happens. The one thing I'll caveat this with is something that I've heard Alex Hormozi say, and then but first I will show you what I'm looking at. And that is, Alex Hormozi talks about, there's this scene in The Matrix with this woman in the red dress. I won't go into it. Basically, he says, as you make more money in your business, the woman in the red dress gets hotter and hotter, i.e., the opportunities, the shiny objects that come your way get more and more juicy. So when you're making $1,000 a month, then, this new, this new shiny object that you could make $500 a month for. And then when you're making $10,000 a month, there's this new shiny object opportunity. You can make $7,000 a month from doing it. And what the lesson he was trying to teach in that example is that it takes more and more restraint to say no to all of those opportunities, because you have to stick to one. You have to stick to your main thing. And so I think the reason I think in the start of your business, you just have to start and be open. I think it's okay in this instance. I actually have no idea, but this is my hypothesis. I think it's okay because I don't have a main thing yet. And so I'm still working on getting to that point. So the new opportunities that are presenting themselves are actually good opportunities because I don't have a thing yet. So anyway, I hope that is clear. That was number 2. That in the beginning, just start and then be open to what happens, and don't be like, the other thing I wanted to say was, like, if I were so like closed-minded and narrow focused and like focused on like, no, I have to solve, this niche travel bloggers. Like, it has to be their problem. I think that is like, you have to be open to the broader picture of like, what are the problems that you are solving along your journey. Number 2. Number 3 is, in the past half week, it's related to, what would you say, health, mindset, decision fatigue. In the last half week, my stomach has felt off. I haven't gotten, I wouldn't say it's like a full bally belly, crazy. It's just been, every time I eat, it's like, it feels a little weird. And so I haven't been able to eat the meals that I want to. And yesterday, the past 2 days, I've gone on walks instead of going for a workout or a run, with the idea that when I come back to eat dinner, I won't be able to eat like a full, solid, like big meal, because it'll just upset my stomach and I don't want to throw up again. So I'm realizing I think there's 2 routes to this lesson. One is it's that little changes in your diet and your health and like your body can make a big difference to your mind and your mindset, and your decisions. And so I'm just thinking, like, if I didn't have to deal with this, I wouldn't be thinking about it all the time. And there's a certain amount of, I'm starting to have to change my behavior because of it. And so I think I'm realizing, and I have been over the past, 6 weeks here, is how important your diet and your food, the food that you consume, and taking care of your health, how much it affects my mental space, my decision fatigue, energy, and focus. And then the second route that I want to take this learning or situation is, I think I'm learning to appreciate how good, I wasn't sure how to phrase this, how good Western food is. Bear with me on this. Like in Bali here, you kind of have to, you're either taking a gamble on every meal that you eat out, or you have to intentionally, not like only eat cooked things, basically. And so that's a thing that you have to think about, because the water is not good here, and then the water has all sorts of diseases and whatever. So it's just kind of a mess, and you have to kind of tread carefully. And I wanted to say how, like, I appreciate not having to think about that in the past. This perspective, this experience has made me appreciate that, like, when I'm here, I have to think about that stuff, but I never had to think about that stuff before. So I hope that makes sense. Those are my 3 lessons that I learned this week. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.